Man, when Snoop Dogg dropped that wild claim saying 95% of rappers are secretly gay, the internet went straight up in flames. People couldn't believe he said it out loud like that. Snoop been in the game for decades, so when he speaks, folks listen.
Trying to sign me. I'm like, oh, why wouldn't you sign? He said, because I don't want a label playing with my life.
Yeah, because I'm gonna expose. That means playing with your butt.
That boy family reunion to vibrations.
Tyler, the creator, really like...
He can't really sue me because he actually talked about kissing white boys in his own songs.
He's involved, but he's involved with...
When you in it, Vlad, we in the industry, Vlad, you know, 95% of the industry.
Man.
I believe there are some gay rappers that just ain't came out the closet.
But this one hit different. The way he said it wasn't even casual. It sounded like he was exposing a secret world inside hip-hop that nobody dares to talk about. Some fans thought he was just stirring up drama, trying to get people talking. Others swore he might have seen or heard something behind closed doors that made him say it with his chest.
And I feel like there will be an acceptance of it. It's just a matter of who will be, you know, the first one to come out of the closet to say that they are.
There'll be pro-gay rap songs, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, it'll have to be.
Either way, the statement hit hard because hip-hop's always been known for its rough, masculine image. So calling out the whole industry like that, that's straight up shaking the table. Now let's be real. Snoop throwing out that 95% number sounds wild with no proof to back it up. There's no study, no evidence, just vibes and a lot of talk. Still, this is Snoop Dogg we're talking about, a man who's seen the industry evolve from the death row days to today's flashy TikTok era.
You know, I have no, control over what people think or feel. You know, do what makes you happy.
Maybe what he's really pointing out is how a lot of rappers live double lives, one for the camera, one in private. Maybe he's not even talking about sexuality literally, but about how people front with fake images to fit what sells. That's something he's hinted at before, saying that fame makes people play roles just to survive the game. Either way, the words secretly gay took it to another level, sparking debates that split the whole fan base. Some people online defended him, saying Snoop's just too old school to understand the new generation. Others said he's exposing truths folks are too scared to face. But come on, throwing out 95% is like saying almost the entire industry's in the closet. That's extreme. What's wild is how fast blogs and gossip pages grabbed it and twisted it. They were posting clips, headlines, reaction videos, everyone trying to break down Snoop's tone, body language, everything. Some folks accused him of being homophobic, while others argued he might just be trolling for attention, like rappers do when they want a trend. Snoop's always been outspoken. He'll say whatever he wants and still light a blunt while doing it. But even for him, this line hit risky territory, especially in today's culture where words can turn into firestorms overnight. And let's not forget, hip-hop's history with LGBTQ+ conversations has always been tense. Back in the day, being openly gay in rap was almost impossible without getting clowned or blackballed, but times are changing. There's openly gay rappers now getting major respect in streams. So when Snoop dropped that 95% bomb, it felt like he was dragging the culture back to an older mindset. Maybe he was frustrated seeing how fame and image shape artists, or maybe he was making a bigger point about secrecy and fake personas. Still, the way he worded it, that hit like a sledgehammer. The internet couldn't stop buzzing, and everyone wanted to know, what did Snoop really mean by that? After that clip dropped, people started dissecting every word, trying to figure out if Snoop Dogg was being dead serious or just stirring the pot for attention. Some fans said he was trolling, but others believed he was spilling hidden industry secrets he's witnessed for decades. Remember, Snoop been around since the early 90s. He's seen rappers rise, fall, and reinvent themselves. When he said 95% of rappers are secretly gay, it sounded less like a joke and more like an insider letting something slip he wasn't supposed to. It's no secret that the music game's full of rumors, wild parties, private circles, and untold stories behind the fame. But calling out almost the whole rap scene, that's the kind of statement that makes the industry real quiet for a minute. Now, some people took Snoop's comment deeper, saying he wasn't literally outing anyone but talking about how fake the game's become. They said he meant rappers act one way in public, flexing money, power, and girls, but behind the scenes, they're totally different people. It's about masks, not orientation. Maybe he was calling out the double lives that come with fame, the way artists hide their true selves to protect their image. In that sense, his comment hits hard because he's not lying. This business eats authenticity alive. Rappers can't just be themselves. They gotta fit a brand, a label, a look. And if they step out of that box, people turn on them instantly. So when Snoop said secretly gay, maybe it wasn't about sexuality. It was about how 95% of the game is pretending to be something they're not. Still, his choice of words turned that message into a controversy that nobody could ignore. Of course, the LGBTQ plus community had mixed reactions too. Some were like, why even say that? Because it sounds like an insult or a dig instead of a real discussion. Others said it could actually open a conversation that hip-hop's been dodging for years about masculinity, identity, and how people hide who they are just to get accepted. The culture's been changing though. Artists like Lil Nas X and Saucy Santana have shown that being open doesn't stop the music from hitting charts. But even with progress, old school voices like Snoop still struggle to adjust to that shift. He comes from a generation where men had to act hard all the time, where softness was mocked, and emotions were hidden behind smoke clouds and gangster personas. So him saying that might be him wrestling with how the industry has evolved, watching hip-hop become more colorful, expressive, and open than it used to be. Still, the backlash came fast. Blogs called him out, social media users demanded receipts, and LGBTQ plus advocates urged him to clarify his words. Some fans even pulled up old interviews where he made questionable remarks about same-sex relationships and said this wasn't the first time he'd said something like that. He once caught heat for comments about same-sex scenes in a Disney movie, which made people think this was part of a pattern, but others defended him, saying Snoop's old-school mindset sometimes clashes with the new world, and he just speaks raw without thinking about how it lands. Either way, the damage was done. His name was trending everywhere. Some fans said he just wanted attention. Others thought he was finally telling the truth, and the rest couldn't stop debating whether the legend went too far this time. Once the dust started settling, people began asking the real question: why would Snoop Dogg even say something like that now? Some insiders believe he's tired of the fake energy in the industry. Maybe he wanted to shake things up and make rappers look in the mirror, because let's be honest, the music scene today is built on illusions, filters, fake money, rented jewelry, ghost-written bars, and staged relationships. When Snoop said that 95% of rappers are secretly gay, maybe he wasn't throwing shade at sexuality at all, but calling out the fronting that runs deep in the culture. He could be saying that almost everyone in the game is hiding something, secrets about who they really are, how they live, or what they've done to make it. It's like he was pulling the curtain back on the entire act and people just got stuck on the word gay instead of catching the bigger meaning. But even if that was his angle, the message still came out messy. You can't just throw out a number like 95% without context. That's asking for chaos. Some folks in the business felt he crossed the line, especially since it made the whole rap world look suspicious for no reason. Rappers started posting online saying, "That ain't me," trying to distance themselves fast. But others stayed quiet, maybe hoping the story would fade before more questions popped up. Still, the internet never sleeps. People began pulling up old photos, party stories, and random moments from interviews trying to prove Snoop's words. It turned into a frenzy, like the whole culture got put on trial overnight. What's crazy is that Snoop didn't even double down or explain much after that. He just stayed cool, like he'd said what he said and didn't care how anyone took it. That's classic Snoop. He's been controversial his whole career and always finds a way to keep people talking. Behind all that noise, though, his comment exposed something bigger about the industry's relationship with truth. Hip-hop's been shifting. New artists are being more open about who they are, mentally, emotionally, even sexually, and it's changing what rap represents. But old school legends like Snoop still carry that real G's don't talk like that mindset. His generation came up in survival mode when showing vulnerability could get you clowned or worse. So when he sees how different things are now, how young rappers embrace freedom, fashion, expression, he might not understand it fully. Maybe that statement wasn't hate, but confusion mixed with blunt honesty. Still, using a stat like 95% made it sound wild instead of wise. It turned what could have been a real discussion about authenticity into another headline full of outrage and memes. At the end of the day, whether Snoop meant it literally or not, the reaction showed how sensitive and divided hip-hop still is when it comes to identity. His words hit a nerve because the culture is still figuring out how to balance toughness with truth. Fans expect their idols to be real, but when someone speaks raw, it can backfire fast. The truth is, Snoop Dogg may have just been tired of fake energy, but the way he said it made him look like he was calling out people's private lives instead of their fake personas. And that's what turned this whole thing into a full-blown storm. Still, one thing's for sure, Snoop's voice still moves the room, and every time he speaks, the whole game stops to listen, even if they don't like what they hear. The man might have started a messy conversation, but he also reminded everyone that hip-hop still got secrets no one's brave enough to say out loud.